Hey guys, I want to do a video today about what makes the Philippines so great. Okay, there's pros and cons here, definitely. I'm not going to lie to you that there's a lot of things that are negative about the Philippines, but I think the positives beat out the negatives. Okay, in a lot of ways. I mean, a couple of friends of mine have talked about, and a couple of bloggers also have talked about Vietnam. And one of the things that they commented about up there is nobody smiles. You know, when they serve you, they don't smile. They're not as friendly. They don't talk to you much. It's kind of like a place with no soul. You know, and when you come to the Philippines, you can walk up to anybody and you feel like you've known them all your life. You know, they smile at you. Oh, let me show you. Let me help you. Let me do this for you. You know, like that. And it's not about, like, some people say, oh, that's about money. No, it's not. It's the people are truly, sincerely nice, good people with a lot of heart. You know, and that's the first and foremost thing about the Philippines that why I would give it a place. You know, one of the best places to retire or live, and why I like it here. Okay. Another pro about living here is cost of living. Cost of living is so cheap, guys. You can choose your lifestyle here almost, and that's another thing, is you can choose your lifestyle here, any lifestyle you want. If you want to get a shack on the beach or a grass hut on the beach, or, you know, bamboo hut or whatever, you know, like you can rent that if you want near the beach and go to some remote place and live there, or you can live in the city and still live fairly cheap, not as cheap, but, and then you can go to alternate cities, what I would call them, or cheaper cities, and just outside of Manila, and you can live cheap too. Now you can go to places where there's lots of expats, like Angeles, Clark, Cebu, Dumaguete, places like that. And yeah, they have some cheap housing, but you get what you pay for. If you want Western style standards, you're gonna end up paying probably about $250 to $600 a month, depending on where you are, and depending on what if you want furnished or unfurnished, or whatever. And you have to think about that. I mean, a lot of guys think that the Philippines, when they come over here, it's dirt cheap, and it is in some places. But in some places, if you got friends telling you, oh, go here, go to Clark, go to go north of Manila, and you'll be fine, or Cebu or Dumaguete and stuff like that. No, you won't. If you're on a low income budget, you don't want to go to those places. You want to stay away from those places. Okay, make sure you're staying in a safe place too. But I mean, here's one of the downsides about the Philippines. The downside of the Philippines is pollution. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. Pollution is bad here. It's bad, really, really bad. Smog, people throwing their trash in the streets. Trash sits there for a while. There's a lot of odors and smells that when you first come here, I would say it took me about 3 months to get over some of the odors here. I mean, people that live here now, they're kind of used to it, and I don't smell them as much as I used to. I used to be able to smell the air because the air was so different here. And it's not because the air got cleaner, it's just that I adjusted to it. Okay, it was one of the first things I noticed when I got off the plane and I walked outside the airport, was the smell of the air. It was the pollution. Okay, and you're used to having clean air in the United States, and over here you don't have that. And that's one of the downsides, okay? But one of the other things that I like about here is freedom. There's a sense of freedom over here that back in the United States we've lost because of, I don't know, it seems like they've taken away so many of our rights and stuff back in the United States. At least it just did to me, because you couldn't speak about certain things. Like you couldn't speak about politics back in the States or anything like that. It was just something I started seeing, it just got really, really dirty, like the fighting between the Democrats and the Republicans or conservatives against the liberals, or whatever you want to call it, has gotten so dirty now. It's almost like you don't even want to live there anymore. And until that stops and somebody steps up to the plate and fixes it, and here's the problem is that it's probably not going to get fixed there for a while. So I mean, this gives us kind of like a place to come to, and that's a good thing for us here in the Philippines. And that's another plus also, is that I mean, I love the lifestyle here. I love the cheapness of things here. I can do more with my money here. That's massive difference between here and the United States. Your money goes so much further. Some will say no, it doesn't. Yes, it does. It does. You can't live in the United States for $1,000 a month. You tell me somebody that is, and I'll tell you that a person that's living in poverty and probably living on macaroni and cheese every day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, let's be realistic here. Because unless they're living on some sort of housing program or something like that, and that helps them a little bit, and then they have more cash in their pocket. But I mean, over here, the doctors in some hospitals are pretty decent, which is a plus as long as you have a decent hospital to go to. And make sure when you go someplace, guys, that you find a place where there's a hospital nearby that's decent, and you get to know the people there. I have a hospital that I use over in Dasmariñas, and I love that hospital. It's clean, it's nice, the doctors are great, they're reasonable. I have a dentist that I work with there. I love the dentist there. Big pluses there. Dasmariñas is actually a great place to settle, because it's kind of in the middle of things, and you can get to the water pretty fast if you want to go to the beach or something like that, or one of the resorts. I would recommend going a little bit further south to get away from the pollution of Manila, because the beaches here are not the greatest. But if you go a little bit further south, you can pick up some nice beaches down there, down towards Batangas and that way. Naga City, I heard that it's pretty decent down there in that area too. The other thing here is a lot of people want to retire with us, like coconut trees and palm trees and stuff like that, and that's the Philippines, guys. That's the place to go. I mean, I've been to Belize. I love Belize, and I'm not going to knock Belize, because there's nothing to knock in Belize. The one thing you can knock in Belize is probably a little bit of crime going on there. There's a little bit more drug smuggling stuff. But the place is clean. There's very little trash. There's very little trash around. Very little trash washing up on the beach. The water's crystal clear. Here they seem to dump like a lot of stuff in the water, and they need to try to fix that, But I mean, overall, the Philippines is a great place. You got to get used to some things, and you got to make things fit around you. And I say that to people all the time, and they say, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And I say, "Well, the Philippines is a great place to stay, but you need to do this, this, and this." And they say, "Well, what?" I says, first of all, you got to get great Wi-Fi, okay? Find a place that's going to give you great Wi-Fi. I use Converge. Converge is pretty decent, okay? PLDT has a few issues, but it's okay. Some of the things I did to my house was put AC in, a Western-style toilet. I painted the place. The other room, I still have to paint this room here blue. I want to paint it blue. We put in a microwave. We have a stove. We don't use wood or anything like that to cook with. We have a gas stove. We have a regular washer and dryer. These are things, guys, you're gonna have to buy when you come here. And if you have all those, you're fine here. And that's the pros and cons. I mean, basically for the Philippines, putting it in a nutshell. I mean, the people here are the greatest people for helping you do things here. And if you're looking for somebody to go someplace with you to do something, and you're here alone for the first month or two before you find a partner or whatever, everybody here is willing to help you. Most people will even take off from work if you just give them a few pesos. It doesn't cost you that much. People here would love to take you around. They take them out to dinner or something like that. And the people here are so welcoming. You can't get past that. That's one thing I love about it here. And for me, I feel at home here. And although the Philippines has lost its newness to me, and that's not a bad thing. It's become like my home. You know, I feel more at home here. So that's about it, though, guys. I mean, that's all I can think of about what to say about the Philippines is why it's so great, and I hope that helps you guys. I mean, be sure to press like, subscribe, guys, and any new ideas you got on videos. This is something that some people have asked me. This is something that people have asked me in the past, and I want to do a small video on this. I got a couple other subjects I'm going to be doing soon too. But I mean, that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.